already here. Okay, so for the past hour and a half, I've been researching this because I wanted to be ready this time. Let's see, is the lighting good? Can I go this way? Is it better this way or this way? I think this way, right? Probably. Okay. Anyways, so I have been doing my research. Definitely a tough one today. Yeah, we're gonna turn this down a bit. Hello. Okay, yeah, so definitely a tough one today. To ignore that fact, I'm going to paint my nails because I feel like it. Okay. So, this is considered the American Junko case. Now, I'm not sure if you guys know what the Junko case is, but it was basically, hello, thank you. It was basically a, I'm actually gonna tie my hair back because I'm getting a little hot. Or if I'm getting a little hot, I should probably just take off my hoodie, shouldn't I? That might be a smart idea. But yeah, the Junko case is I think it was in Japan. It was a case of a girl being tortured and kidnapped and tortured for, I think, 3 months. Yes. So this is considered the American Junko case. So if that gives you any idea of how brutal it is, trigger warning ahead of time. There is talk of 48 days. Oh yeah, that one. I think that's a totally different one, right? 48 days of hell. I think that's a different one. Do you guys think I should? Oh yeah. Yeah. It sucks. Definitely no justice in that case, which is very frustrating. But I would consider their justice. Well, I think there was kind of justice in this case. It's not, I wouldn't consider it to be ideal, but it's better than the Junko case for sure. So I have an intro. I'm gonna try to do an intro. I wrote it down. Hold up. If I click the spacebar, am I gonna like end the live? Hold up, we're gonna try. Note to self. Don't exit the app while on live. Sorry about that. That's my bad. Are we back? Do we have... Are we good now? Lagging anymore? Yes. This case is called the Hello Kitty case. But it is considered the American Junko case. Okay. So, we're gonna try my intro because I came up with it when I was like falling asleep one night, so... Okay. Welcome to this week's Crime Live, because there's basically a murder every minute, so we never run out of things to talk about. Isn't that so great? So clever. I don't know if that's insensitive or not. I don't think it is. But we never run out of things to talk about. There are hundreds and thousands of cases, so please suggest some. I want to know what you guys want to hear. This week's is obviously known as prolific, horrible, and memorable, as are almost all the cases that I have ever heard. So this one is definitely one of the more memorable ones. I think about this maybe like once a week ever since I heard it, constantly popping up in my mind anytime I see a Hello Kitty plushie. So if you have any Hello Kitty plushies and you would like to enjoy those Hello Kitty plushies still, I would advise you not listen to this case because you will not want to own anything Hello Kitty related after this. Fun. Okay. Do you think I should do some makeup while we're going over this case, or should I just talk? What do y'all think? What are your thoughts on that? Makeup or just the case? I'm not lagging anymore, am I? Makeup? Okay. Okay. The question is, what kind of makeup? What if I do e-girl makeup? I could do e-girl makeup. That's the question. Okay, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna text my friend. Brief intermission. We're gonna text my friend and see what kind of makeup I should do before we get into the case, because I have my notes. I'm ready. Okay. Be patient with me. Also, what color should I have the lights? I can change the color if y'all want. Green, that's pretty. Ooh. Oh my goodness, that's so pretty. We do blue. Ooh, that's more teal. What about this one? Ooh, that's more blue. What do y'all think? Color suggestions? I got the full rainbow. We got... I think I'm liking the green. Yeah, I'm liking the green. I think we're gonna do that. Fun. Okay. Green? Yeah, I thought so too. Okay, if my friend doesn't answer in 2 seconds, then I am going to just... Carnival? Carnival? Tim Burton? Ooh. Okay, my friend just suggested a Tim Burton. I love how you assume I'm a lesbian. I do like women. I'm actually omnisexual. So, lesbian works. Do e-girl. Okay, I think I'm gonna save... My friend suggested Carnival and or like Tim Burton. I think I'm gonna save that for another time because that's a really good suggestion. But, I don't have any inspo pics right now. So, oh my gosh, I forgot to hang my do not disturb sign. My family might barge in. Okay, I'm on live, by the way. Don't knock, please. Now my family won't bother us. We're good, we're good. I have a do not disturb sign, but I'm letting my little brother color it for me because he seemed happy to color something, so I gave him my markers and now he's coloring that. Look at this makeup brush collection. I've been collecting for years. They're unicorns. Okay. Now, we shall get into the case while I do e-girl makeup. This is gonna be so fun. Let's go. Okay, so this happens 1999, spring, May of 1999 in Hong Kong. And Hong Kong is considered to have a relatively low crime rate, so this rattled the community. Like, absolutely shook them, could not believe it. Absolutely just like changed so many people's lives. Oh my gosh, I have a goat headband. It's adorable. I forgot I had that. So like this ruined people's lives. People were terrified. They didn't want to live in Hong Kong afterwards. Like it messed people up. So the main suspects in this case, they are from Hong Kong, so I'm sorry if I don't pronounce their names properly. Please let me know if I'm like butchering them. I'm really trying. But one of the main people who were in the case, she is going by Ah Fong, which is not her real name, because due to the fact that she was 14 at the time of the case, her real name is anonymous. So we are going to respect that and not try to dig deeper into finding out who she actually is, because I consider her a victim in this case, and I hope you guys do too, because we really don't need any more perpetrators in the world. So yes, we are calling her Fong, but just to make it easier, let's call her Sasha. We're gonna call her Sasha, just because it's easier to, yeah. So The court called her Ah Fong, and she was 14 years old at the time of the case, but we are going to call her Sasha. So, I guess what really pushed off the case was when Sasha barged into the police station with, she was claiming that she was being haunted. So the police really did not take her seriously whatsoever until she said, yeah, she was being haunted by a woman whom she had helped murder. After that, the police showed a little bit more interest in that. So after claiming that she was being haunted by somebody who she had murdered, police went to her apartment where she was claiming to be haunted in hopes to either find that she's crazy or find a body or something. So these police go to her apartment, which was not where the crime happened. She lived somewhere totally different. She was 14, so she lived with her parents, so her parents were very confused. Everybody was really hoping that this girl is just crazy, that she had a dream, or she's just a child and it's like she's just having this little moment, you know. She'll, like, it's just a little crazy idea that she has in her head and it'll go away. So that's what people were really hoping. Unfortunately, that's not the case. So what they ended up doing is this girl tells them the story. She basically requested immunity in order to confess everything. So she is making a deal with the police. She wants immunity and protection, which further pushed the idea that she was a victim. She was just scared. And she was 14. She was being groomed by this guy. We'll get into that. So sorry, got distracted here. So she told the police that basically there was this girl who her boyfriend, who is 34, this 14-year-old's boyfriend is 34. Oh my God. But she's like, yeah, my boyfriend murdered this girl and then put her head in my doll. So that is where the case gets its name. On the clip of the live, I put a photo of her, of the girl who was murdered, and the Hello Kitty doll. If you look it up, I advise you, it is quite unnerving. It is very easy to find. Just look up Hello Kitty case and then go to pictures. This girl, oh my God, she had her head, she was beheaded, and then her skull, missing the bottom jaw, was put inside of the Hello Kitty. It was a mermaid doll, and they took the head off of the mermaid doll and sewed in her head. So they didn't just put this girl's head, they didn't like just shove an object in the Hello Kitty's head. They sewed it in so it would not fall out or move around. Ew. Who could do that? Who has the ability, the mental capacity, who has the numbness to do that? Who's so inhuman that they are able to do that? That is wild to me. So Sasha tells the police that there is a head inside of her Hello Kitty doll, and it is absolutely disgusting. So they take out the head and they find it, and so because this is real, they start like investigating it more. So going back to the beginning, all the way with our victim. I'm going to use her real name because she needs recognition, and I might say it really bad. I'm sorry if I do. 23-year-old Fan Man Yi. I'm sorry if I butchered that. Manier. So yeah, she was a nightclub worker or a hostess at a nightclub when this all went down. But I would like to start at her childhood because that can explain a lot. So, she was Fun. We're just going to call her Fun because, yeah. Fun was born in 1976 and she was abandoned, dropped off at an all-girls orphanage with really nobody. And at the time, the orphanages were really corrupt. There was no sense of community. Famanying. No, I think it's ye. I think it's Famaye. Because it's spelled Yee. Pretty sure. But yeah, so the system was really corrupt, and so there was no sense of community. There was no education. She had no education, and being in this place of no support, having no one, just she got really into drugs at a very, very young age, and then she became addicted. And when I say drugs, I don't mean like vaping or cigarettes. I don't mean like alcohol or like going to a party and having some cocaine or something. No, she was addicted to crystal meth. And that is a big deal here, where I live, which is not Hong Kong. It's a big deal, and in Hong Kong, it's an even bigger deal. Like, there can be death penalties for drug cases. So it is a big, big deal to have a drug charge. So this 15-year-old at the time, because in Hong Kong at the time, the orphanage was overrun, so they really had to like get her out. So Fan was released or like just put out on the streets at the age of 15, where she continued to be on her hunt for drugs. So to get drugs, you need money. To get money, you need a job. So as a 15-year-old with no education, without any sense of direction or support, she turns to, I don't want to get demonetized, as Call Me Chris calls, because I used Call Me Chris's video for research. Call Me Chris calls them ladies of the night, if you would like to interpret that. So as she turns to Lady of the Nighting to get her money, she really gets herself deeper into this unfortunate, just like hole of troubles and problems, and it's really hard to get out after you start on this path. So being homeless, and a drug addict, having the emotional trauma, no education, which sucks because even if they're in an orphanage, they should have some source of education. But unfortunately, she did not get that. She was just dealt really bad cards, which I'm not blaming the whole scenario on the way she lived, but it's just unfortunate how it came to be. But she did eventually get a job at the age of either 20 or 21. Different sources say different things, but she gets a job at a place called the Romance Villa, where she meets her husband. This guy, I do not know his name. It's not put in a lot of places, but all we need to know is he is a complete asshole. This guy was also an addict, and being an addict with another addict, it's really hard for recovery to happen. So they actually end up getting married in 1966, and they have a son in 1996, and they have a son in 1998, 2 years after getting married. After Fan has her son, she makes a commitment to quit drugs for her son. She is very committed in being better for her son. She wants to make sure he has a good life. She really, really wants him to just thrive and not have the life she had, as she said. So she tries to quit, but having a husband who also is an addict makes it harder. And this guy starts becoming violent. There had been many calls to police of domestic violence coming from next door. There had been arguments, and so Fan knew that this was just not a good place to raise a child. So she left her husband. And after leaving her husband, she really had nothing. There was no income, so she had to find another job. So Fan finds a job at a place called Empress Karaoke Club. That is the translated version because this, again, is in Hong Kong. And it was a nightclub. And it did have a major pay cut, so she really, really had to work a lot in order to provide for her family, also known as her son. So she divorces this husband, and she gets this job at Empress Karaoke Club. Trying to quit meth and being in a karaoke club is not an easy thing to do. Should I shave my eyebrows? I'm debating shaving my... Hello! I am debating shaving my eyebrows. Should I shave my eyebrows? Like the wings off of them. Thoughts? Eyebrows, stay or go? I'm not sure. Okay. So yeah, finding this... Should I flip a coin? You're gonna flip a coin for this? I gotta put a heavy amount of blush on for this. Flipping a coin? Okay. Let's see. Do I have a coin? Where is a coin? Oh God. You know what? I'm going to flip a makeup palette. I'm flipping a makeup palette. This is heads, this is tails. Heads, I shave them. Tails, I keep them. Oh God, that was awful. Thanks. Okay, we're gonna throw it. God, I hope I don't break this. Oh my God. Heads, we're shaving. We're shaving him. Ah! You saw nothing. Okay. So we're gonna shave my eyebrows while we talk about the Hello Kitty craze. Okay, so as I was saying, she got a job at the Empress Karaoke Club where she meets the devil, basically. This guy happens to be a pimp, and my friend just texted me and told me not to shave my eyebrows. I can make weird faces with half of an eyebrow. I can make weird faces with half an eyebrow. Anyways, so yes, yeah, so she meets this man named Chan Min Lok. I'm so sorry. I suck at pronunciation in English too. I suck at pronunciation, period. Okay, so yeah, she meets this guy, Chun, and he happens to be a drug dealer, and trying to fall out of this loop and get her life together is not good when she meets this guy. So they got to know each other, and they started becoming friends, and she got to know his two henchmen, kind of like his sidekicks. I would consider them henchmen because these guys are evil. And their names are Liang Xingchuo, age 26 at the time when they met, and Liang Wenlun, 21. I'm so sorry. God, I feel so bad. I'm so bad at those names. Who was 21 at the time. So 34-year-old, 26, 21. And she at the time, Fan at the time, was 21. So yeah. Oh God. Am I gonna regret this? What time is it for me? That's a great question. I dropped my mirror, it broke. It is 9:26 where I am. Oh God. Okay, so, all three of them were part of basically a Japanese mafia known as Wu Xing Wu. And it is one of the oldest triad societies. Okay, cool. So yeah, it is one of the oldest triad societies, and this guy was rich, so he was basically like the leader of a gang. So he had a 5-bedroom apartment, and I actually have the address of that apartment, 31 Granville Road, Shimsalut Suit. Yep. And the thing about his massive 5-bedroom apartment is it was absolutely decked out in Hello Kitty. Oh my gosh, you can see yourself. Hello. Say hi. It's you. Oh my gosh. Anyways, so it was decked out in Hello Kitty. Part of this appeal was because he would pimp out children. He would be running a sex ring for 13-year-olds, and as we know, the 14-year-old who ended up being part of this crime. So it was not a good place. So yeah, he is a child predator and just an absolute asshole. Yippee. So yeah, he also had a lot of video games, and you know what, Corn there, and he would actually have some girls living with him in his place, and Fong, also known as Sasha in our case, no! Glad you can join us for a little bit. All good. You can always watch it later. Bye, friend. But yeah, that was his. It is crazy. Bye. So yeah, that is how that 14-year-old had been dragged into this. He was grooming her, and she was living with him at the time. Once again, we are keeping her anonymous. Please, out of respect, do not try to find her actual identity. Oh my god, I'm doing it. Oh my god. Holy shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, there they go. There it goes. Oh my god. Oh, they're gone. Oh, they're going. They're going. Oh my god. Whew. Oh, okay, I'm doing that. Okay, well. Whew. Freaking out, man. Oh my gosh. Holy cow. Oh, they're leaving me. Ooh. I'm gonna regret this later. But that's fine, because you only live once. Oh my god, my mother is going to kill me. I'm gonna go downstairs. You're doing amazing, sweetie. Go, Kylie, go! Oh my god. There they are. They're gone. Okay. That's all. Oh, that's all, folks. Whew! They're gone. Oh my god. Whew! Okay, well, that's all we're doing for now. I'll only do one eyebrow. I'm kidding, I'll do both. Anyways, I'm gonna keep talking about the case. So yeah. Thank you. I know I look fabulous with half an eyebrow. Okay. So, as we know, Fun had been getting closer with Chun and been falling back into the wrong crowd with drugs and Lady of the Nighting. And with this lavish lifestyle with a mob leader, she started wanting more money. So, one time when she was hanging out with Chun and his henchmen, she makes the worst mistake of her life, it would turn out. Which doesn't seem like it would be a big deal at the time, but it would come to be the downfall of her. So, wanting this lavish lifestyle and needing to pay her bills because she was going to get evicted, she ends up stealing Chun's wallet, which in it had $4,000. There are different sources that say it's Hong Kong money. There are different sources that say it's US. I have no idea. It's $4,000. That is not calculated for inflation, so it's a lot more. If it is Hong Kong money, then it would be $500 US. Oh my gosh, my eyebrows are gone. Yes, $4,000 in a wallet because this guy was a gangster. So yeah, after she stole this money, she realized how cooked she was, how screwed she was, how that was a dumb idea. So she proceeds to work her ass off to make this money back tenfold. This girl ends up returning 14,000, not 4,000, 14,000 because of interest, because she was like, I'm so sorry, I robbed you, I shouldn't have, here's your money back, and 10,000 with it. So after losing 4,000 and then gaining 10,000, he's like, okay, cool, give me more money. This is not enough. Give me 16,000 more dollars. If you give me $30,000 in total, then we'll be even. And we can be friends again because you broke my trust. Haha. Okay, sure, buddy. That is an insane amount of money, and she can't even pay her bills. So, she tries to pay her back. He ends up, he ends up giving her a timeline of, I don't know how much that timeline was, but obviously it wasn't enough time because she was unable to pay back. And he ends up sending his little goons to kidnap her. So they send her, or he sends his two goons, I'm not using their names because I hate them, to go to her apartment, which she was about to lose, with her son, by the way. And they kidnap her and take her back to Chun's apartment, which was the 5-bedroom apartment covered in Hello Kitty. So, taking her back, she feels really bad. She's pleading with him. She is arguing. She's like, I will get you your money. I promise. I'm so sorry. And then he's just telling her, no, it's okay. I'm just going to keep you here so you don't run away. You're going to live here, and then I'm going to pimp you out, and you're going to make me my money back. You're going to gain $16,000, and you're going to give it back, and then we'll let you go, and you'll be free, and you'll be fine, and everything will go back to normal. We can be friends again. Okay, she was told she would get her life back. And so that's what she thought. She thought she would do fine. So that night, they end up going on a drug binge again. So they get high, and when I say they, I mean the two henchmen and Chun and Fun. So they get high, and during that, it must have been the meth, or it must have been the fact that they are awful people. They end up beating Fun so much that she cannot be put on the street for Lady of the Nighting. So because of that, Chun just decides, you know what? We're not gonna make the money back. Let's just torture her, just for fun. You know what? We're just gonna keep her here. She's gonna entertain us. we're just gonna torture her, and then we'll let her go once I feel happy again. Once I think that I've had my payback. Awful. So that is what they decide to do. They ended up keeping her there for a total of 30 days before she ended up dying. So, throughout these 30 days, this is where the trigger warnings truly come into play. Please, 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 if this is too much, take a break. You can always skip ahead once the live is out if you want to know how it happened or how it ended. But please, please, take care of yourself. This is brutal. So, throughout those 30 days, she would undergo a lot of torture, both mentally and physically. There was, oh my gosh. They would muffle her screams with a dirty rag, and they had oh my gosh, it's so bad. I don't even know what to say. So a lot of it was really gross. The 14-year-old Sasha, she was present for a lot of it. So she was, scared that this would happen to her, which is why I think that she, participated in it. So I truly do think that she was a victim. So as they are torturing her, there are multiple different ways that they would torture her. They would tie her wrists with electric wire. They would try to strangle her with electric wire to the point that she would pass out. But then they claimed they never had the intention of killing her. They would tie her with the electric wire and hang her from the ceiling, where they would beat her constantly, day in, day out. At night, they would just be taking turns. They would beat her with household objects. They would beat her with metal. Yeah. And they would, oh my gosh, they would just beat her constantly. They would actually flip over a table and unscrew the legs and beat her with the legs and then screw them back on. Who has that energy? They just wanted to experiment. This was an experiment, a game for them. And it was all just so sadistic and awful. After days of this torture, which isn't even, they would beat her. Oh my gosh. Oh, I need to tell you about the other. Oh, it's awful. So they would also end up breaking her fingers, and because of the beatings, it would fracture almost all of her bones, and she would just be hanging from the ceiling. So all of her fingers would be broken, the rest of her bones would be broken. They would continue to beat her. They had a favorite method of chili pepper or chili oil, pouring it into the fresh wounds just to make it hurt more. They would burn her with lighters. They would get plastic straws and burn the plastic straws and let the hot wax drip onto her, and then they would peel that off and put the chili powder on the blisters. They would, I know, it's awful. They would, oh, this is disgusting. They would urinate in her mouth, and if she spilled any, then they would beat her. And they also made her eat feces, and it was all just disgusting. She was covered in filth constantly. She was in pain constantly. She was crying. She would go in and out of consciousness from the pain and from the shock. And then the 14-year-old Sasha, she would actually testify in court saying that one time she walked in and Sean was kicking her in the head full force like a soccer ball, she said. And she said that he kicked her more than 50 times, and then she felt obligated to go over and she started hitting her on the head as well. When the prosecutor asked her why, she said, "I had a feeling that it was fun." This girl had been brainwashed and groomed so much, she thought that this was okay, which it's not. So yeah, that went on for 30 days. They would also make her drink motor oil. Yeah, and I think, personally, I think this is some of the worst parts of the mental abuse, they would force Fawn to say that she enjoyed it. And they said that if she said she liked it, then they wouldn't do it as much. And it would stop. It would not stop after she said she liked it, which is disgusting. So that happened for the next 30 days and probably a lot more. And so one day, from returning from a nightclub, the 14-year-old Sasha found Fawn dead. This was either April 14th or 15th of 1999. She would be found dead. Sasha would be freaking out, and the others would be just totally chill about it. They would be absolutely fine. They would start blaming each other, actually, because they were like, you didn't pay enough attention to her. She probably got a hold of the meth and overdosed. Yeah, because it definitely wasn't all the fractures and bruising and beatings and, probably starving. I don't even know if she was fed or not. It's definitely because she overdosed, not because they were torturing her. For sure. Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. So what these guys end up doing is they end up having dinner and, like, contemplating before they just decide, we're just gonna keep her here for a couple days. They just leave her. They just leave her body, and they keep beating her body after she is dead. Oh my god! These mother... the reason that they ended up, taking care of, I say in quotations, the body is because there was an active police investigation on the floor below them of a rape charge from the floor below them. Great place to live. Great place to live. They ended up figuring, okay, we don't want to get caught because of this. We are going to take care of the body now. And so what ends up happening is the three men, sorry if you hear that, it's my brother. The three men ended up putting her body in the bathtub and, good Lord, be quiet. Yeah, they dismembered her over 10 hours. It took the three men 10 hours to dismember her. And they didn't know what to do with the body because they couldn't just throw it away. So what they ended up doing is, with the bones, they just threw those away. Because, they would just gradually throw those away. They actually took a couple teeth as trophies. Excuse me? Okay. And with the flesh, and they didn't want it to smell and decompose, what they would do is they would put it in the freezer, and then day after day they would cook it in a pot right next to the food that they eat. So constantly they would just have these two pots on the stove, one of them with human flesh and one of them with noodles and ramen, because these men did not leave the apartment for the next, I think, a few weeks. They didn't leave the apartment for a few weeks until her body was fully disposed of. They did not leave the apartment. So many things are wrong with these people. So many things. Especially because in the trial, they did a psychiatric assessment, and it was clear that these guys had no remorse whatsoever. So not only were they just plain evil, they were monsters, and they didn't have any feelings. Lovely. So, yeah, they would actually cook their food right next to where they are boiling this human. And they would use the same spoon! The same freaking spoon! Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna let that let's sit in. What the hell? So yeah, with the other bodies being, or other body parts being taken care of, her vital organs would be put in baggies to be put in the freezer, and a lot of people think that that is because they were intending to sell it on the black market. Nobody would be surprised if that were the case. I know I wouldn't. So yeah, they were probably going to sell her body parts on the black market, and so that's what they did with her vital organs. Her bones, they just gradually threw away. We know what happened with the flesh, and then her skull. The thing about her skull, we know what happened with the skull. It's harder to get rid of than the rest of the body. You can't do anything with it, so after they boiled the skull to get the flesh off, which is probably, a lot of people think that this is how the bottom jaw fell off, they put her head into the doll of a Hello Kitty. It was a Hello Kitty doll with a mermaid tail, and they took the head off of the Hello Kitty doll, unstuffed it, put the head in, sewed the head there so that it wouldn't move around, and sewed the Hello Kitty back together, and gave it to the 14-year-old girl to take home with her. Like nothing happened. Oh my god. So after a few weeks, we are aware that this girl, who we are calling Sasha, went to the police about it because she claimed she was seeing this girl everywhere. She claimed this girl was showing up in her dreams. She was covered in wire. I wonder why. And she had been beaten to death. She had been tortured. And so this girl was just constantly, she was seeing her everywhere. She was seeing her out in public. She was seeing her in her dreams. She was seeing her behind her. She was just being haunted by this girl. And a lot of people think it was either guilt. Some people think it was paranormal. Some people think it was just the residual energy along with it, that you could just feel the anger within the area. Some people think, oh, it's a child. She has an active imagination, or it's a child. She could actually be seeing something paranormal. Doesn't matter what you believe. Point is, this girl claimed something was haunting her, either metaphorically or quite literally. So she went to the police and confessed everything with the promise of protection. So May 24th is when she ended up reporting, and we know that she died either, let's see, it says she died either April 14th or April 15th, so that is about a month and a half later. It took this girl a month and a half to report. A lot of people think it's because she was scared. A lot of people think it's because she didn't want to go to jail. I still see her as a victim. I'm not sure what to believe. So yeah. Fast forward to the trial. 14-year-old Sasha was given immunity and protection. Chun was at home with his wife. 34-year-old Chun, drug dealer and pimp, was at home with his wife and newborn child. Wife and newborn child. Excuse me? Okay. Wife, newborn child, a SWAT team comes in and arrests Chun. Liang Wei-lun, which is one of his henchmen, fled to mainland China and was later arrested on February in 2000 due to irregularities in his passport. The trial was on February 17th, and Shin Chu was on the most wanted list. He was the other henchman, and he was also sent back to Hong Kong for this trial. It actually ended up starting, even though it was set for February 17th, 2000, it started October 20th, 2000. So the three men argued they didn't intend to murder her. Yeah, they admit to kidnapping and torturing and abusing her, and they admit to unlawfully keeping her imprisoned, and they also admit to abuse of a corpse and improper or unlawful burial. But they didn't kill her. They didn't murder her. Not on purpose, at least. They never intended to kill her. So that basically means they were just intending to keep her alive to torture her, essentially. So saying they weren't intending to kill her kind of makes that worse. So the jury did believe that their intention was not to kill, but that they are still evil, evil people. So it was, everybody was claiming that she overdosed. She took meth. She overdosed. We didn't actually kill her. But the thing is, nobody knows her cause of death because they don't have a body. It was later found out that Chan is the one, the main guy, is the one who beheaded her. So he received most of the hate, obviously, as he should. But because they didn't have a body, they couldn't discover what the cause of death was. Yeah, I agree. So, as I mentioned before, they had a psychiatric evaluation, and it was determined that they were remorseless. Like, they had no guilt towards this whatsoever. So, knowing that, everybody was super happy with the outcome of life in prison. Woo! Life in prison for all three men, with convicted of manslaughter and unlawful imprisonment on all three. With this conviction, Wenlun's sister ended up having a mental breakdown, and Wenlun's brother ended up breaking a door within the courthouse. Yes, life in prison. Awesome. We win. Not quite, because they have the possibility of parole in 20 years, also known as 2020. 2020, they had the possibility of parole. Now, I am not sure. I do not think any of them are out. I am certain that one of them is not out because in 2011, Xingzhou was released after only serving 18 years, or no, less than 18 years, only 11 years in jail of his life sentence, and he was released. He ended up going back to jail in 2022, charged for indecently assaulting a 10-year-old girl for 12 months. That is an entire year that he was able to do this because he was allowed parole. I blame the justice system for that one. Yeah. So after the investigation, Fun's son was given a necklace that was found at the crime scene. And he had to grow up without a mom, which sucks. The rest of her body was cremated on March 26th of 2000. And because of how much media attention this got, a bunch of people were obsessed with the paranormal part of it. They would go to this apartment complex, and they would have a lot of, paranormal investigations. And I don't think any of it was to be rude or, harmful or, just to be bad people, but it's definitely insensitive. And so in 2012, the entire complex was demolished. And then in 2016, a hotel on top of that was built called Soviet. That is still in Hong Kong. And actually, 2 movies. 2 movies and so many documentaries and writings and videos, obviously, were made about this. Those 2 movies being called, number 1, drumroll please, we have Human Pork Chop. Yeah, okay. Number 2, we have Secret in My Soup. How insensitive. One of those, or I think both of those, were translated, so it could mean something different. I seriously doubt it. So yeah, that is where the urban legend of these children being scared of dolls, you know, like treat your dolls okay or else they're gonna haunt you, that's a lot of the origin from it. A lot of people think that even if Fan had survived and was released, she probably would have been too scared to go to the police. Which is fair, which is valid. She paid this guy $14,000 and was murdered. Tortured and murdered. So I would have been too scared to go to the police too. This 14-year-old girl was too scared. She waited until after. I bet she didn't want to end up like Fan. So, yeah, 30 days of torment and abuse taken away from our son. It's awful. Okay, I'm gonna finish with this makeup look and do a couple videos and then, yeah, for sure. It is said that Sasha is still alive. She's still living well. I don't know, because I don't know who she is, but I hope she's living well. But yeah, that was the Hello Kitty case. Please let me know if you have any requests for any other cases. And please give me feedback. I want to make these more entertaining, you know, like probably getting less off track. So yeah, hope y'all enjoyed this week of crime. Don't do crime or else you'll end up like those guys. So yeah, I'm gonna end this because that actually made me really sad. So I'm gonna go. Have a good day. Thank you for joining me. Bye-bye.